Awesome.
Hey, Jock, how you, man?
Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm loving the series that we're doing.
Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, listen, so we've got this little presentation put together specifically in and around support your local business, the branding side. And we're just going to quickly touch on why we chose, the colors and why our logo looks like that. And then obviously the digital assets that we already have created for support your local business. And then, we take it from there. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm really looking forward. I know we're popping this into a playlist, but I'm really looking forward to eventually going. This is the structure that we're following. It's not just that we're messing about and seeing what comes up, but I know you have a bit of an outlay at the
Yeah,
end of the video, the second last slide, where we're just
yeah.
kind of
No,
creating context, and then yeah, this is good. I like it.
and the nice thing is, as you know, I mean, I've added another one on there as I did the presentation, this afternoon, or created it. We got to the brand identity, and I thought that should be very good discussion to actually have and show the guys why you should actually have a brand identity, and how do you go about setting the thing up and what to do and all that type of stuff. So I think that's one of the nice things. But anyway, so let's
That's
kick
exactly
off.
where my mind went when we started talking branding and everything. And I thought, yeah, I'm gonna have that discussion. And then I saw it on your points, and I'm like, no, this is not the video for that. We're
Yeah,
gonna have
slow
another
it down
one.
to a blur. Yeah, I think slow down to a blur. Let's take it one little step at a time, and let's not overdo it and throw the guys in the deep end. So we just take it one step at a time and go through the whole thing. But the
For
whole
me,
idea is to show you guys.
I just want to get
Mhm.
to the point where we're talking digital marketing and we're helping people establish their business and grow their. I just want to get to that. But obviously, yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't help we rush over this because yeah, someone might be sitting
Well,
there going,
Jock,
oh
this is
yeah, this
part
makes
of it.
sense.
I mean, I don't think you should knock it. This literally is part of it. You cannot, you have to create that home where you send people to. And
That
that home,
foundation.
you need to get your ducks in a row, start the place up, make it look nice. So when you channel people and invite people into your home, it doesn't look like the dog's breakfast. And that is all what we're busy doing now. Those last two discussions that we had is part of that. And if people just sit at home thinking of their own business and how can I actually apply what I hear these two chaps talking about, then they can actually start seeing that I can do much better for my brand. I can do much better for my business. And that's all we want to do, and that's part of marketing, that whole image, that whole corporate image and all that type of stuff. But anyway,
It's the
let's move
whole,
along
as you
swiftly.
as you say, I love that analogy of it's your house. Eventually,
Mhm.
but like most small businesses, they kind of skip over this because they want to get to we're going to help people. But essentially, what you're doing with digital marketing is you're inviting people to your home, and yeah, you don't want to invite them to an empty house. Like you need to get everything in order. So I love that analogy. We're building the foundation where we're gonna
Yeah.
invite people to, and yeah, if that's shaky, then even if you have the best product in the world, yeah, you don't have that authority or that credibility if someone goes and looks at your brand and it looks like the dog's breakfast. So yeah,
Well, Jock, I always say, I preach this, people buy with their eyes. And if, the first impression is lasting. So, I'm not going to name names. One of our clients, they've got members and now they've got a members directory online. And this guy, one of the members, actually posted an image of his business. Now, imagine this. So you've got your business in the background, then you've got a palisade fence, uncut grass. So you have the grass standing a meter high and wheelie bins full of rubbish, you know. So let's just look at this. Should you not have just moved maybe a meter or 2 meters to the left or to the right and take a photo through the palisade fence of your front of house, and it looks professional and it's clean, versus now you've got this dustbins full of rubbish, unkept place, and it literally breaks down the image of your business. And I can guarantee you that guy will probably not even understand if you tell him, you point that out and say, listen, God, mate, you need to look at this, And that's the main thing, is most people don't see the wood for the trees. And that's what we're trying to do here is just go back to basics, get the basic stuff right, because it's all these little chipping away and, one little bit at a time, making your business better. And I mean, think about it, if you take one little thing out of this discussion we had, just one, and you implement it in your business, in a year's time, you have implemented 52 different things to improve your business. Have you got any idea how big that is?
That's massive, yeah.
And it's about chipping away. It's not about big bang approach and we're going to change the world in one day. Most people don't have the time. So if you actually only take one little thing and you go and say, you know what, I'm going to spend time and actually just tweak this and get this little bit right. And I'm going to think for the next 2-3 days on a proper, and I'm just playing with ideas now, a tagline for my brand, or, just 2-3 days. And, you come up with a great tagline and you chuck that in there. Next week, you do something else. And the week after, you do something else. And you tart up and you clean up your social media pages, and we'll get to that, in 2-3 weeks' time. But every time you do that, you improve your business, and it's that accumulation or cumulative effect. In 12 months' time, you have done 50 different things to improve your business. How many of your competitors out there does it? Nobody. I can tell you now, nobody does it. And that's the difference. You will be leaps and bounds, streets ahead of your competitor, are just doing small little things on a weekly basis, not a daily basis, not even daily, just weekly.
Okay. That photo reminds me of, I was reminded of a quote today by Jim Rohn, where he said, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you have a photo like that, immediately you know if the guy takes that much pride in his business and how his business looks, how much pride will he take in the service that he gives you? So everything needs to reflect that person that you are, the attention to detail, the kind of business that you are, all of that. And it's that one. And then another one that I heard that was fantastic is, if you don't have the time to do it right, when will you have the time to do it over?
Yeah, that's so true.
Beautiful. That is so true. It was an NFL coach that said that, but Hall of Fame guy, and you can understand why with wisdom like that.
Okay, I think, Jacques, I'm just quickly going to run through the introduction, and maybe you can take up the next slide. But, okay, so in marketing, color has got a massive impact, on your customers' perception of your brand and your product. So it's crucial to take the line, and what we'll do now today is we'll refer you back to our little logo. Here at the bottom, you've got the Support Your Local Business logo. It's blue and it's yellow, and we'll continuously go back and tell you, do you see that? That's why we chose a yellow color. That's why we chose a blue color. It makes sense. And that's why it's a round figure like that, because it's designed like that, because down the line, that's what we want to do. And I'll show you guys, in the slides further down. Okay, so a color is crucial. So you need to pick the right color to convey your business goals and to appeal to your target audience. Then it sets the mood. Every color has got a different mood to it. Black, aggressive, red, has got Jacques, I don't want to steal Jacques' thunder. So he'll actually go a little bit further into that. But guys, every color has got a different feel and, emotion to it. So it's important to get that aligned with your business, and emotions. So people get emotional about color, because it invokes a certain amount, a certain emotion to you. I mean, take for instance, blue. Blue is tranquil, it relaxes people. Green, it's growth. The same thing, people naturally like green, it's why? Because it relaxes people, it's when you're in nature, you feel home. And that is why green is a good color. But you understand the connotation between the emotion that green invokes, and the same thing with blue, the same thing with yellow and red, etc., etc. So, and emotions are very, very powerful to connect your brand, with with a person, with a potential customer out there. Okay, so brands want to cultivate strong emotional connections with their customers. And this can't be done with just a logo. You need to bring in those colors, right, to actually link in and lock in that emotion. Okay, can I go on?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, Jock, I think do you want to quickly run through these? I think this touched on your colors and that type of thing.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. What's the most attractive color for your logo? So there's a couple of things that you need to think about. Blue is by far the most popular choice for logo colors, and it's easy to understand why. Blue logos are such a popular choice. Blue is inoffensive color. It's safe but sophisticated hue, which is brilliant. There's a couple of other things that come into choosing the best color for your logo. So as I run through it, I'm gonna tell you little examples of different colors. But usually the blue color is usually used more with professional businesses because it gives you that tranquil, calm, professional, trustable intelligence. That's the kind of emotion that blue invokes. So that's why when you look at PayPal, most of that kind of services, any professional service that you need to go to get advice to do something better for yourself, usually those logos will all be blue. If you look at something like red is more joyful, youthful, energetic. Your guys like Coca-Cola, that kind of brand, that's why they use red. You don't pick it up and you don't think about it, but that's the emotion that you get. From orange, you get trust, energy. It's usually quite playful, and oddly enough, optimism. So you get a sense that the company is optimistic. So if you look at Amazon, I know their hex is actually widely known as Amazon Orange. Even Nickelodeon brands like that, they all use orange, and that's the reason why. One of the other colors that we went for was yellow. And because yellow is hopeful, it has happiness, cheerful, fun, joy, all of that's tied to yellow. So that's why we chose blue and yellow. Technically, it says we're dependable, we're trustable, we're credible, we're professional service, but we also want to see fun and we want to bring happiness. So that's the reason for the blue and the yellow. Just because you touched on green is usually more peaceful nature. What else? Like nature, yeah, I think nature, renewal, that kind of thing. That's why if you look at Whole Foods and all your organic stuff, it usually lends itself to green. So obviously with purple, if I just say purple, you're thinking creative. Like it's creative, wisdom, creativity, all of that's tied to purple. And yeah, I don't want to really get into all the rest of it, but you can easily just Google psychology of colors when you're creating logos, and yeah, you'll be able to see most of what I just said. So sorry, that's a bit of a rant just on colors and logos. But what's the most attractive? Let's carry on. So what's the most attractive colors for a website? Blue is the most versatile and universally liked. Remember, you want a kind of a clean palette when you're working on a website. The new kind of trend is to use darker themes, just because when the internet came out, you had a white screen, and if you wanted to put anything on it, you needed to physically put something on it. So that's why most websites went with completely white, with some elements added to it. But what has been the trend for the last 3-4 years, and it's becoming more of a trend, is dark mode. So you'll notice that on your apps you have dark mode that you can set up, and the idea behind it is it's not as harsh on your eyes. It looks really professional, it looks youthful, it looks modern, and it also doesn't use as much battery power. So if you have a site where people need to spend a lot of time on, think about going dark. Most of your competitors won't, because most people think a website should be white. Just something to think about. So blue has been shown to inspire feelings of trust, making it a heavy favorite with website and color schemes like we just spoke about. Like if people see blue, that's the kind of feeling that it gets, or that it creates, without sounding too go out and grab a crystal kind of thing. If we look at purple, as we said, creativity, wisdom, confidence. Purple is unique, strong color to use within a website color scheme, as it demands attention and stands out. So usually what you'll have, and this is one of the things that we see with a lot of websites that they do wrong, is you'll have your color palette, and we're going to get to our color palette. And most people stick to like one color throughout their website. And there's nothing really wrong with it, as long as it's just different shades of the same color, and it's not just they told you blue, you got that one blue that you liked, and you're using that blue all the way through. Like it needs to have depth, and it needs to have different layers. So if you look at the presentation on the right-hand side, you'll see that it's not just the blue block, it's lighter shades, darker shades, there's a bit of purple, there's lighter shades with lines. So it gives it depth instead of, yeah, making it look like it's something that you just put together in Word or something. Yeah, I think I finished that thought. What color? No, I didn't. What I wanted to get to was usually your call to actions. So if you want someone to focus somewhere, to click somewhere, all your call to actions should be a color that contrasts your normal color. So your eye will be drawn to the color that isn't like the rest. It's from when you were a kid, when you play that, which one of these isn't like the rest, your eye will be drawn to the color that looks different to the rest of the website. So if you have call to actions where people can click through to view the team or to ask you for a quote, that needs to be a different color. So what colors should be on your website? Generally, we want to use colors with high contrast in the website design because of greater legibility. Yes, who's dyslexic now? For instance, white text on a dark background or vice versa, like we just said. If you're going dark mode, then yeah, use something that's easy to read. Contrast draws your eye, draws attention, and can make certain important elements stand out visually. However, too much color contrast on your website can wear out your eyes. So like we said, it's different tones of the same color and then one contrasting color to make a statement. You don't want to make a statement. You don't want to be that guy at a barbecue just yelling the whole time. At some point, you kind of lose your efficacy by trying to emphasize every single thing. Like some of the stuff is just information and some of the stuff is worth emphasizing, and there you'll use your spot of color or bold or, yeah, to draw the eye to that specific thing. What color catches more attention? Our eyes have the highest sensitivity towards bright yellow. on the visible light spectrum, making it a highly visible, attention-grabbing color. Like, you don't really need to look too far to see evidence of that. Like the police, their badges are yellow and blue. Well, in South Africa. Yeah, if you have your reflective boards, I know recently there's a reflective white and a reflective red, but most often the hazard boards and all of that, it's black and yellow, just because yellow is striking and it grabs your attention.
Stands out. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. That is
Okay,
it.
Job,
I don't know if you wanted
just
to add
on
anything.
that, yeah, just on that then. So just to come back to our color scheme. So that is why, we went for the blue, because, it's inoffensive, it's safe, it's that sophisticated hue that Jacques spoke about. And it's also, universally liked. It's inspiring, it inspires feelings of trust, and so it's a great choice for what we're trying to do. Then secondly, what we did is, if you look at the third point there, is from a contrasting point of view, the blue and yellow stands out. You can't miss it. So it's a very visible, color. Remember where we want to go with this. So we want to take that badge and put it in the shops of local businesses. So you're going to have on the counter a little support your local business plaque, or against the wall, or on the, in the window. You see why we chose the yellow and the blue. It stands out. It's contrasting and it stands out, in the crowd out there. There's such thing called noise. So if your attention is drawn to 100 things, if you look at a website, your landing page on a website, there is probably 20 to 30 different things that's going to draw your attention. How many people have actually visited the website and then, after about 2 minutes of playing around on the website, you actually forgot why you were there in the first place? That's the reason why. It's called noise. There's so much noise that you cannot see the wood for the trees. What we're trying to do with that badge that we've got there is to actually stand out, shout the loudest and stand out amongst all the other noise out there. That's why we chose that color specific scheme. So you can also say, like we say, yellow is that highly visible spectrum. It's attention grabbing. That's why we chose that color. It's as simple as that. Okay,
I just want to make mention. I've worked with a couple of entrepreneurs that kind of get stuck with logo design, colors, and it lends itself to analysis paralysis, and you can end up going back and forth with designers, and yeah, this can take months, and at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. Your logo isn't going to be your business. The thing I like, the weight I use to put it in perspective, when I speak to those entrepreneurs, is just put it in context. Think, is someone going to go, geez, you really have an amazing service, but I really don't like your logo because that font should be a little bit left, or that yellow should be a little bit more yellow. So don't get stuck in this. We're giving you the bones and everything. But at the end of the day, like, even if it's 70%, 80% of what you want and you're not completely happy, it's fine. You can always change it later on. But don't let this become the barrier for you to start. Just take note of all of this. Start somewhere, get something ready, and then start. Like I say, you can always edit it later on and refine it a little bit. Sorry, I just wanted to mention that.
That is such great, advice. 80%, and that's if you follow that principle, 80% is good enough. You don't have to be perfect. A good plan today, Patton said, a good plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. And, so get moving. And this is why we're here. We got moving. We are moving. We're moving ahead and we're pushing ahead, and soldiering on. And that's why, 80% is good enough. We could probably spend another 2 hours on this PowerPoint presentation and really make it look smooth and beautiful. It's not necessary. 80% is good enough. I'm not saying it should look like the dog's breakfast. I'm saying get it to a point where it does not, it's that 80-20 principle where you spend 80% of your time to refine the last 20%. It's crazy. Don't do it. Just cut it and move on, because you can spend that 80% of your time on better things. Okay. So I think that, Jacques, you already touched on this. I think we'll leave it in the slide deck, and then people can actually have a nice look at this. I think you described the color, feelings or emotions very well with regards to that. But there you can see Coca-Cola's in the red one.
Yeah.
McDonald's is yellow. When you mentioned yellow, I mean, they are very big on red and yellow. It's fun. The whole idea behind that is it's fun. They want people to have fun. That's why do you think their mascot is a clown? A giant clown for that matter. I don't know how, I know there's quite a few people that's got a phobia with regards to clowns, but anyway, obviously not Ronnie.
It's usually older guys, so they're more for the youth. That's the red side of it.
But I think this, Jacques, is what we're trying to show. What you described is, if you look at the different blues, the different yellows that we can work with. So what we did is we did a little bit of a study. We got I think it was an online software program, application where you put in your color and it actually gives you related color. So you put in your primary color, your secondary color here, and it actually gives you all the different tints and hues, of that actually works nicely together.
Yeah, it's a platform called Peloton. I'll link it to you. I'll put it in the show notes.
Fantastic. So I think that, if you look now at our logo, you can see that, it's the top one there on the left, right blue, or right top is the blue that is used for the logo. And then the second yellow from the right, Jacques, I think is the blue, is the yellow that we used.
Yeah,
or maybe the middle one.
I'm thinking it's the middle one.
I think it's the middle one. It's a lot brighter. It's a nice, sunflower yellow. But anyway, guys, so if you do this for your business, you think how easy it becomes once, and we'll get to the logos that we design and all that. The beauty with this is now you've got a palette that you can play with. It's not that same mundane colors that, everything looks the same. You have got various different colors that you can play with, and it's all fitting nicely together. It all fit, cohesively, create that feeling and support your brand. Which is
great. You can have that same scent all the way through. Like, even if you get someone that does some designing for you, and you get a freelancer here or there, or you get someone's cousin to do you a favor, what you can do is, instead of then trying to explain to them what blue they need to use and they need to go and find out what blue, you can give them this and they can go, okay, well, it's that color, that color, that color, and everything looks cohesive in your brand. Yeah, that's one thing that huge companies are pedantic about, that to the degree that you can't imagine, that it's not blue, they have a specific blue, or they have a specific
very
green,
much so.
And it's not one shade lighter, it's not one tone to the left, it's that specific one. And then that's how you compete with the big brands, just by following what they do in the back end, because that's gonna separate your brand from all your competitors, because you don't always use the same creative guys, and it ends up looking shifty, let's put it that way.
People subconsciously figure these things out. That's that scent that Jacques is referring to. And I spoke a little bit about it, in the last video, is every one of these brands that's on this wheel here has got a specific blue. They will never ever screw around with another blue or another green. Take John Deere, for instance. John Deere has got a John Deere green. They will not put a lighter tint or a darker green. That is the John Deere green that they use. I'm just using that as an example. HP, Sky, all blue, but different.
Blue. Yeah.
Different blues. If you look at Facebook's blue versus HP's blue versus Skype's blue, all different color blues. VW's blue, So the reality is these guys have all chosen, and they are pedantic. Like Jacques is saying, if you work with their marketing departments, the first thing, they've got that brand identity kit, and that font they use, and the color, and the size, everything, the ratios they use, all that stuff has been preset. And everybody in the organization uses the same size, uses the same blue, etc. If you want to change anything or put it on any merchandise, etc., you have to go to the brand department, and those guys will vet it and say, okay, this is the blue, this is what we want, and this is what we expect. And that before we want to see proofs. I don't want you to go out there and screw up my brand, because once again, it's that emotion that is attached to that specific brand. Okay, so let's move along. So I think this, Jock, is, let's use this as an opportunity to actually launch our branding, and show people how it's going to look and where we're going to put the stuff in. And as we move through the motions, the website and the social media pages and all that type of stuff, we'll come back and you'll see, once you've done the exercise and you know what yellow you use, you know what blue you have, it's so much easier just to move along. You don't have to spend time wondering, and it's very easy to move along. As you can see, the yellow theme goes through. The blue supports the yellow. The yellow you want to stick out like a sore thumb. That's what we did with this, So it actually has got that contrast in it. It's got the yellows and blues, the same thing across the board. And if you look at it, it's the same look and feel as well. Look at the little badge that supports your local business, and then look at the little badge that's in the middle of that website banner. It's the same look and feel. It's not the square, versus a round medallion, at the top. You have to convey the same feeling across the board.
Awesome. Yeah, and that comes down to fonts as well. But yeah, if you have that, it no longer becomes a creative exercise. It becomes a paint by numbers exercise. You know exactly what needs to go where. It's just maybe shifting 2 or 3 things around or making it say something else. But yeah, it's the preparation to make everything down the line is regarding branding and new graphics and new developments. It just simplifies everything.
And once you've got something like this and you know what you have, you can then start unbundling things, and you can use elements of. So I can use that middle support your local business, the website banner. I can actually take that banner away, the support your local business, and I can retain the middle one. It looks like a little hamburger with 3 stars on both sides, and I can actually put, use it for something else. But it will still convey that same look and feel, because people associate it with your brand. So it's easy once you've done the homework and the effort that goes into this. It's a lot easier than just to move along, Okay, can I go to the next one?
Yes, let's do it.
So this is what we done. We spent quite a bit of time with regards to, like we said, in the last video, is our goal and our vision is to actually create a membership of businesses that actually has got their own business directory entries, and people go and look on that directory for a business in their specific area where they live, and there's ratings on there and all that type of stuff. So together with that, you're going to need member badges. So the whole idea behind that is to actually create different types of members. It's your choice where you want to go. We've created a member badge that's right at the top, and then we've got business membership badges, which is right at the bottom, and I'll get to the middle one. But you'll see there, it's all three of these are different, but they're also round, and they're also very much supporting the support your local business logo. It's not very far from that, and that is planned. We don't want to move too far away from that, because then people can associate that badge with support your local business. So I don't want to go into too much detail how that will work and all that type of stuff, but I think I just want to show you guys that we have gone further than just our badges and our logos and that type of stuff, but we've got this vision for where we want to go, and then obviously this type of thing will be rolled out down the line, and it probably will change. We'll change the names on there and all that type of stuff. But the reality is we've done quite a lot of work, like we said before, and we haven't done anything about it. We haven't done anything with it. So we're now pushing that to say, guys, we've done all this work. Let's actually start doing something with this, and help people, because ultimately that was our goal right from the start. Okay, Jock, you want to say anything on this?
No, 100%. I think you've covered everything.
Okay, so I think, Jock, you want to talk about the corporate identity?
Yeah, let's do it. I see we're moving swiftly along. So corporate identity is all the visual elements that are chosen to represent the overall face of your organization. So think of that in terms of everything that you can see. So it's logos, type forms, typeface. So your fonts, your taglines, your imagery, your color palette, the tone of your voice. Your corporate identity is going to be, it's not your ID number that's your business. Your business is something completely separate to what you are. And we'll touch on that later on when we talk about your brand persona and stuff like that. But think about that as your business is someone, a separate entity from you that needs to have its own persona. It needs to have its own image, look, feel. People need to recognize that.
Culture.
There are 4 elements of a brand. I kind of touched on that now. Got ahead of myself. That you will need to address when developing your brand strategy. A strong brand requires a strong brand identity, brand image, brand culture, and brand personality. So that's exactly what we spoke about now. Think of it, if you talk to your mother, you're a little bit different to when you talk to one of your friends. You're still the same person, so your identity is still exactly the same, but you highlight different aspects of your personality. So is your company going to be fun, quirky, serious, educational? That's going to be the same. It just depends on which conversation you're busy having. But yeah.
And now we create, obviously today we discussed the brand image part. Nothing else was discussed. Jock, we nearly finished. So I think this is literally what's next. So next we're going to talk about our social media channels, what we're going to do. And branding is done. Social media channels, what's up. And that is it for today, I think.
Yeah, that is it. Can't wait till we get to the context grid, because then we'll be able to say this falls in that part.
This is where it fits in.
But yeah, that's it. If you want to have a look at this and then kind of measure out the videos, we're going to name it accordingly.
Fantastic. Guys, listen, if you like what you